crispy. It's trash. What's going on, guys? Down in Delaware today at the main studio, the basement studio. I'm here with Joel. We're working on a new pack, and we're also working on some publishing stuff today too, right?
Yeah.
So working on a new pack, and this pack is coming out later this year. So it's funny because John is actually out of town. So and like the last piece of content that we published, I think Smythe was playing a little bit of keys. He plays keys on everything he puts out, but not as well as Joel or as often as Joel. So I think in this episode, I think Joel is actually going to be playing a little bit of bass. So appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoy. What are we working on today, Joe?
Working on a pack we got coming out a little later. I'm going for like a retro feel, some synth stuff. Not too much 80s, but just like a retro vibe.
Got you.
Yeah.
More like retro from like an analog instrument standpoint.
Yeah.
Got you. So you playing bass today, I see?
A little bit. Just one note. Nothing too complicated.
P bass.
Still struggling a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. John is out of town, so gotta do what we gotta do. So a lot of people don't know. A lot of times when guys are kind of like they can't be in the studio or can't do stuff, we all will fill in and play a bunch of different instruments. I think that's the one thing, like folks that are watching, like they don't know about the team as much, is that we're all kind of multi-instrumentalists.
Yeah, it was when push comes to shove, I think we could all crank out a pack with the various keys, bass and guitar stuff that we need.
Yeah, because you even play guitar on some packs folks probably didn't even know it was you.
Yeah, a little bit. Might take me a little longer than Smythe, but you know, I know my limits, so I'll record what I need, and then if it's something too complicated, we'll reach out to each other. But usually, yeah, we all kind of cover the spectrum musically for what we need from ourselves.
Once you place like a lead like that, once you got it kind of locked in, what's your next steps after that? Because like one of the things that I really kind of wanted to start showcasing to like a lot of our fans that watch what we do and buy our stuff, there's a lot of process that goes into what we're doing. Where it's gotten to the point now for us, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are watching, you know, that might want to get into creating sample packs, or even if they're just taking our stuff and trying to figure out how to fit it into like a mix. You know, like what are some of the plugins and tools that you're using?
All right, so I guess since we're on that topic for this joint, I started with a Rhodes loop, and after laying that, I knew I had something in that mid frequency range. Just put like this tape saturation on it. Gives it a nice little retro vibe. I'll put the bass on there.
That's a universal audio plugin.
Yeah.
The tape saturation. Yeah, because you and I were talking about what's the name of that joint? It's an Ampex.
Yeah. The Ampex ATR 102.
Right. So people always like our texture, and like that's the one thing like I think that we can kind of always hang our hat on is the fact that
That's probably my most used plugin, honestly, for our sample stuff.
the thing I love about this plugin is I feel like even when you're turning up like that, wow, to give it kind of like that just that old school feel. It does it in a way that sounds more realistic because you have other plugins that kind of do the same thing, like what's the name, like the Ozone plugin.
The vinyl.
Yeah, I mean that joint is dope. I use it from time to time, especially in production, but it kind of is just not. It's not the same.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites for that. For getting that pitch warble and stuff. Once I got that, it's just adding like sprinkles to the top of stuff. Like that's when I added the lead. So I feel like somebody could sample this just as it is.
Right.
Probably want to add one or two more things in there just to give it some extra textures.
One thing that I think is lost in sample creation and then just composing in general.
What's that?
And I think we kind of fall prey to this from time to time as well, just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think people don't understand like you don't have to always play like a full chord with every instrument. You can literally play two keys just on the Opus 3 while actually finishing the chord. You know what I'm saying, on the virus or something like that.
Yeah, I've been learning that myself just in general composing. Just it's not about the fullness of the chords you play, but about what you're playing and where you're playing it.
Right.
Like even where, as in like what frequency is it in. So if you are like with this, I already have like Rhodes taking up the whole mid range. So if there's anything else to add, it's gonna be either one or two lines of a synth, like in a high frequency, or that's kind of all there's room for after you play something, or unless you start panning stuff in the mix. But yeah, it's about where you play stuff and where you put it in the mix. But I'm learning. Messed up the song.